All right, class. So this is our homework help video for Wednesday. In this, on this homework, we're going to be describing what the transformation is. We're going to describe the rule for the transformation. All right. So let's look at this first one, which happens to be number 7. Okay. As you notice, look at this triangle is upright. This triangle looks like it's facing in a different direction. So it didn't just slide, okay? It's not a translation where it just slid, because if it just slid, it'd still be upright in this position. But it didn't just slide. It didn't just flip over, okay, either over to the left or downward, because it would be in a different direction as well. Okay, so here it looks like this object turned. It looks like it did a rotation. Okay, so how did it rotate? How did it rotate is the question. So we're going to pick the pre-image and look at the pre-image and then look at the image. I know that this is the pre-image because it has no tick marks. Okay, do you see how there are no tick marks here? So that's mean this is where it started. Do you see how this shape has a tick mark? It has one tick mark. That means it did one transformation, okay? So we want to know what that transformation is. Let's look at one of the letters. Let's look at E, okay? Let's look at the position of where E is. So we know that E turned. I'm going to write down the pre-image, the ordered pairs for E. This is the origin. I'm going to go over to the right. That's +1 and up +2. Okay, from the origin, you go over to the right one. So that's 1, comma, up +2. So this is the ordered pair for where E started. The ordered pair, E prime, where E landed, start from the origin, is you go over, you gotta make sure I highlight it. Sorry, let me do it again. Over 1 and up 1. I had to draw that because you see how confusing that was? Draw a line. So this is the origin. Over 1, up 1. So it's 1, 1. Down, let's see, over to the left 1, -1, and down 1, -1. So left, right's first, up, down is second. Okay? All right, so this is where it moved to. So let's rotate it to see how many times we had to rotate it to get E to -1, -1. Okay, so I'm going to do clockwise. All right, if I rotate one time to the right clockwise, it's at +1, -1. No, that's not where it didn't just do one turn, because it should be -1, -1. So let's turn one more time, 2 times. Okay, look, E is now at -1, -1. It is right here. Okay, so that's how this object moved. It rotated. Okay, so it rotated, the rotation 180 degrees. And you could say clockwise or counterclockwise, because remember, even if I turn it to the left counterclockwise, one time there, looking at this one, 2 times here, it's still going to land in the same place. So when you do a 180 degrees, it doesn't matter if you rotate it to the left or to the right, it's going to be in the same position. So I can just say rotation 180 degrees. Let's look at number 9. All right, let's look at, it didn't just slide, because look at, if it just slide, then it will be in the same position. Let's first identify, right, let's back up. Identify which one is the pre-image and which one's the image. Let me label this as my pre-image. No tick marks, remember? And my image has tick marks, okay? All right, so let's look at it. This has tick marks, so this is where it moved to. It made one transformation because it's one tick mark. This doesn't have tick marks, so this is where it started. This is my pre-image. So we want to go, I'm going to choose the letter P, okay? Notice how the object is not facing in the same direction. So that means this shape rotated, okay? This object or shape, it did some rotation. It didn't just slide. It didn't flip over or anything. It was rotated, okay? So We're going to look at P here. I'm going to write down the ordered pair for P. All right, the ordered pair for P, where P started. Let me draw my X and my Y. Make it just a little bit darker so I can read it. All right, this is the origin right here. So start from the origin. I'm going to go to the left one, to the right one, and up one. I'm a little off today. I'm so sorry. So over one, up one. So positive one is where P is. Mm-mm, scratch, scratch, scratch. Left one, up one is where P is. Okay? To the left one and up one, that's where P is. P prime, where P moved to, is right one, up one. Positive one, positive one. Okay? So let's see. How would we rotate this to put it here? Okay, so let's look at this one. Let's rotate it. I'm going to rotate it. Let's do clockwise, okay? Clockwise. If I do clockwise one time to the right, P is right here at 1, 1. See? 1, 1. So that is correct, okay? 1, 1. So it did a clockwise one turn. So this is going to be rotate clockwise 90 degrees. Okay? I'm going to do it one more time. All right, you see how I wrote down these ordered pairs? This is where it started. This is where it landed. I'm going to look at where it started and I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to turn it to the right first. So when I turn it to the right, one time this way, and that is how I get 1, 1. So it actually turned one time to the right to get there. Now, another answer that you could have, let's go counterclockwise. If I go counterclockwise, looking at this point, I turn it. This is not the answer yet. That's one turn. Turn it one more time. Upside down, that's 2 turns. That's not the answer. You see how it went over and down? That's not where it was. And then you make 3 turns. This is where P will land. So counterclockwise 270 is also the same as 90 degrees, clockwise 90 degrees. So you could have it either answer. You could rotate it counterclockwise 270. That's not wrong. So either answer is correct. Okay. You can either do one time to the right or 3 times to the left, and that will land you in that same position. Okay. Let's look at this one. Now this object, okay, look at it. Go back and label Miss Reyes. I told y'all I'm a little off today. Just a little bit. You have days like that. This is your image. How do I know the difference, Miss Reyes? The pre or the before has no tick marks. The image where it moved to has tick marks. It made one transformation, so it has 1 tick mark. And the one transformation that it made, you can either say it's rotating clockwise 90, that's 1 time to the right, or 3 times to the left, which is 270 degrees. Okay. All right. Let's look at this one. Okay. The bottom one. All right. Let's identify the image and the pre-image. Again, the pre-image is where it started without the tick marks. This is my pre-image. This is my image. It made one transformation because it has 1 tick mark. All right, so it did not just flip, because if it would have just flipped over, it would be in the same location but upside down. Okay, so it didn't just flip over here. So it had to have turned. It turned to get there, okay? Because it didn't just slide, or it would be in the same upright position. So it didn't flip and it didn't slide. So it rotated because it's in a whole different position. So it turned. We're going to see how it turned. Let's pick a letter. I'm going to pick let's pick the letter S this time. Okay. This is where S started. This is where S landed. Okay, so let's do S. Pre-image for S is down here. Let me trace the X and the Y axis so I can make sure that I'm telling you the right order pair. Start at the origin and you want to go here. Use the grid lines. Go left, right first. We go to the left, 1, 2, that's -3, and down, 1, 2, 3, 4. So -3 and -4 is the ordered pair for S. Okay? S moved to up here. Okay, this point right here is where S moved to. It moved to +1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2, 3, 4. So it moved +3 and +4. That's where it moved to. So we're going to turn this picture so that it lands here. So let's look at this S, okay? Look at that S. All right, we're going to turn it to the right. I'm going to go to the right. This is one time to the right. It's still not at +3, +4 here, okay? So let's turn it again. That's 2 turns. And look, 2 turns puts it at +3 and up 4. So this is the correct answer here. So it turned 2 times to the right. That's a 180 degrees. So it rotated 180 degrees. Remember, even if you rotate it 180 degrees to the left or to the right, it's going to land in the same position. So we just say rotate 180 degrees, because 180 degrees is going to put the picture upside down. And it doesn't matter if you go to the left or to the right, it's still going to land in the same position. So the answer here is just 180 degrees. All right, so now you're going to do the same thing for these. You're going to describe what is the how it rotated. All of these are rotation, I will tell you that. And you could possibly have more than one answer. Okay, you don't have to do them both. You can either rotate to the left or rotate to the right, and it's fine. But just note that some can have more than one answer. 180 degrees, you don't have to put clockwise or counterclockwise on a 180 degrees, because it ends up in the same place whether you turn it to the left or to the right. So that's why you don't see clockwise for the 180 degrees. You only see 180 degrees. Rotate 180 degrees. Okay? All right. I want you to try, do your best. If you have questions, just come back and ask. Okay? All right. Love y'all.